Shit, I knew the boys since like sixth grade and shit. We just all linked up and started doing music. I was already doing the music. They was doing it. I had the studio. You feel me? And we just came together and started making hot shit.
Like Grandmaster Jay said, you could rap to any type of music, be it jazz, rock and roll, reggae, but hip hop, you know, a lot of the real hardcore rap records don't get played because a lot of people don't accept it. Maybe they don't like what some groups are saying, like Public Enemy or N.W.A, but the true form of hip hop will always stay street.
What's the group's name?
New Kids in the Hood.
Yo, man, we got the right stuff.
Hit it.
Y'all don't even know we got a nasty plan for y'all, man. For real, man.
Did you know Gang Starr is actually a duo, not a singular individual? Cause I didn't. What about the fact that Eazy-E initially discovered and signed the Black Eyed Peas when they were under a different name? How about Diddy being a factor in the formation of the group names for The Lox and Mobb Deep? No? Did you just learn that? Well, plug in and let's explore the formation of some, but not all, rap groups throughout the years, beginning in
1978.
In the Bronx, New York, a DJ and producer by the name of Grandmaster Flash is working with a group called the L Brothers. He then recruits and works with his friends Cowboy, Melly Mel, and Kid Creole, forming a trio called the 3MCs, which some say is the pioneer MC group of hip-hop. Melly Mel and Kid Creole were also the first rappers to refer to themselves as MCs, or Masters of Ceremonies. Flash then brings in Scorpio and Raheem, and they form the group Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. In 2007, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five become the first hip-hop group to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, also having displays at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History.
1983.
In Hollis, Queens, New York, a promoter by the name of Russell Simmons managing Curtis Blow pulls his brother, Joseph Simmons, into hip-hop, who becomes the DJ for Curtis Blow, going by DJ Run. Run then convinces friend Daryl McDaniels to start rapping, which he does, starting with a stage name Easy D. The two begin hanging out at 2/5 Park, where local DJs would often compete and perform. One being Jazzy Jace, or Jason Mizell, who Easy D and DJ Run would then rap for and become friends with. After graduating high school, Run and Easy D get Russell to let them record as a duo, and the two soon recruit Mizell to be their DJ, who would go by Jam Master Jay, eventually discovering and mentoring a young Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Easy D then changes his stage name to DMC, deriving from multiple letters of his last name and standing for Devastating Mic Controller. They also pull Run from DJ Run, and the group Run-D.M.C is formed. In 2007, they become the second rap group to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
1985.
In Long Island, New York, Charlton Ridenhour and William Drayton meet. Ridenhour, developing his abilities as an MC, goes by Chuck D, with William going by Flava Flav. Chuck then recruits Hank Shockley, his brother Keith Shockley, and Eric Vietnam Sadler to his production team, also adding Richard Griffin, going by Professor Griff, as the group's Minister of Information. The collection then adds Flava Flav and Norman Rogers, going by Terminator X, and form the group Public Enemy, later adding MC and producer Samuel Kim, going by Sammy Sam, as well as adding DJ Lord when Terminator X retires to focus on raising ostriches on his farm. In 2013, Public Enemy becomes the third group mentioned to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
1980.
In Queens, New York, Kamal Fareed and Malik Taylor are childhood friends growing up. Kamal becomes a battle rapper going by MC Lovechild, occasionally working with high school classmate Ali Shaheed as a rapper-DJ duo. Kamal then changes his name from MC Lovechild to Q-Tip, and Malik Taylor joins them under the name Phife Dawg, as well as his neighborhood friend Jerobi White, calling themselves Quest. They get A Tribe Called from the Jungle Brothers and then become A Tribe Called Quest.
1986.
In Boston, Massachusetts, Keith Elam going by Guru, Kerry Guy going by Big Shug, and his brother Dana Guy going by Suave D form a group. Big Shug is soon imprisoned and Suave D leaves the group. Guru then recruits MC Damo and DJ 1-2-B Down as replacements for them in the group. The group then splits again in 1989, and Guru, desiring to continue the group, connects with Houston, Texas native DJ Premier. Liking him, Guru invites him to join the group, even offering to relocate him to Brooklyn, where he was. DJ Premier accepts, and the group has the roster it will become known for. The group is Gang Starr. In South Bronx, New York, Lawrence Parker stays at a community shelter where he meets the counselor, Scott LaRock. LaRock is a DJ, and the two begin a DJ-MC relationship. Lawrence begins going under the name KRS-One, and the two form Boogie Down Productions. In East Orange, New Jersey, high schoolers Anthony Kriss, Care Gist, and Vinnie Brown form a group for a talent show. Anthony goes by the name Treach, Vinnie by Vin Rock, and Care by KG. They call the group Naughty by Nature.
1987.
In Brentwood, Long Island, Eric Sermon meets Parrish Smith in high school. They soon discover that they both have an ambition to conquer the rap world. Smith drops out of college, and using Smith's financial aid money, the two form the group EPMD. In Compton, California, Ruthless Records co-founder Eazy-E meets with Dr. Dre, and the two start a group. They soon add Arabian Prince, MC Ren, and Ice Cube, who is rapping for the group CIA. Dre, coming from World Class Wrecking Crew, brings along a fellow former member, now going by DJ Yella. The roster is complete, and they call themselves N.W.A. In 2016, they would become the 5th rap group to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
1988.
In Southgate, California, two brothers, Senan Reyes and Olpiano Reyes, find and team up with New York native Lawrence Muggard, going by DJ Muggs, from the rap group 7A3, as well as Louis Freeze, going by Be Real. They then form a group called DVX, with Senan going by Sendog and Olpiano going by Mellow Man Ace. Their name, DVX, stands for Devastating Vocal Excellence. With Mellow Man Ace soon leaving the group, they changed their name to reference a street in South Hill, Cypress Hill. At Woodstock 94, Eric Bobo was officially made a member of the group.
1991.
In Memphis, Tennessee, Paul I'm Not Even Gonna Try, Ricky Dunnigan, and Jordan Houston III had already developed a name for themselves in the rap scene. At this point, Jordan Houston, now going by Juicy J, reaches out to Paul I'm Not Even Gonna Try, now going by DJ Paul, for help making beats. The two grow fond of each other's musical styles and team up with Ricky Dunnigan, now going by Lord Infamous, to form the group The Backyard Posse. The group would soon release The Portrait of a Serial Killer and become known as 3-6 Mafia, adding Crunchy Black and Gangsta Boo 4 years later. In Atlanta, Georgia, 12-year-old James Kelly and 11-year-old Chris Smith, who had been friends since 1st grade, are discovered performing at the Greenbrier Mall. James would then become known as Mac Daddy, Chris becoming Daddy Mac, and the two would become known as Kross. In Manhattan, New York, K. Juan Muchida and Albert Johnson are classmates at the High School of Art and Design, a school known for students like Calvin Klein, Marc Jacobs, Fab Five Freddy, and more. The two, K1 now going by Havoc, Albert by Prodigy, become a duo going by Poetical Prophets. Q-Tip of A Tribe Called Quest hears them and introduces them to people at Def Jam. They soon sign record deals, and Source calls them a dynamic duo. After a suggestion from P. Diddy, they change their name to become known as Mobb Deep. In Cleveland, Ohio, Anthony Henderson, going by Crazy Bone, Stephen House, going by Lazy Bone, Brian McCain II, going by Busy Bone, and Charles Scruggs, going by Wishbone, form a group called Band-Aid Boys. They soon changed their group name to Bone Enterprise and put in calls to record companies, hoping for someone to listen to them. They then receive a phone audition and a promise from Eazy-E to call them back. After not getting a call back, they gather up the money for a bus ticket to Los Angeles, spending 4 months on the streets of LA in search of Eazy-E. They didn't find him, but they did hear that he was on his way to perform in Cleveland. The group then returns to Cleveland, where a marketer and promoter introduces them to Eazy-E, and they audition for him in his dressing room. They then return to LA with Eazy so they can solidify a deal. Eazy first changes the name to Thugs and Harmony, but they, desiring to keep the Bone name, compromise with the name Bone Thugs and Harmony.
1992.
In Staten Island, New York, cousins Robert Diggs, Gary Grice, and Russell Jones have already been rapping under the group name Force of the Imperial Master, with Diggs going as Prince Rakeem, Grice as the Genius, and Jones as the Specialist. Soon after signing independent deals, both the Genius and Prince Rakeem are dropped from their labels. The Genius then becomes Jizza, Prince Rakeem becomes RZA, and the Specialist changes his name to Old Dirty Bastard, commonly referred to as ODB. RZA begins working with Dennis Coles, who is classmates with future group members Corey Woods, Jason Hunter, and Clifford Smith Jr. at Newdorp High School. Adding Lamont Hawkins as U-God, Jamel Irif as Mastakilla, and Daryl Hill as Capadonna, they all form a group, with Corey as Raekwon, Jason as Inspector Deck, Clifford as Method Man, Dennis Coles going by Ghostface Killah, and the cousins keeping their names RZA, Jizza, and ODB. They call themselves Wu-Tang Clan. In Atlanta, Georgia, Andre Benjamin and Antoine Patton meet at the Lenox Square shopping mall at 16. Both attend Tri-Cities High School, where they participate in rap battles in the cafeteria and become an interest to a group of local producers calling themselves Organized Noise. The two, Andre going by Andre 3000 and Antoine going by Big Boy, form a group, initially wanting the name Two Shades Deep or the Misfits, but being taken, they decided on a synonym of Misfit, using a K instead of a C. OutKast. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ricardo Brown begins recording music under the name Corrupt, signing to Death Row Records at 19. In Long Beach, California, rapper and cousin of Snoop Dogg, Delmar Arnault, is also signed to Death Row Records after he begins recording music under the name Daz Dillinger. Daz is also learning music production from Dre, who notices chemistry between Daz and Corrupt, suggesting the two form a duo, which they do, calling themselves the Dog Pound.
1994.
In the Bronx, New York, Gene and Terrence Thornton are brothers that soon relocate to Virginia Beach, where they are exposed to the cocaine trade. Gene starts rapping solo as No Malice and begins working with Pharrell Williams. Terrence eventually writes a rap under the name Pusha T that impresses Pharrell, who then suggests the two become a duo, spawning Clipse. In the United States, rapper Method Man of Wu-Tang Clan and Redman of Def Jam, who had already been working together, were put on the same tour, crossing paths again in Tupac's recording studio a year later. They soon released their first single, How High, which would become a feature film that they would create the soundtrack for, working together in a duo known as Method Man and Redman. In Yonkers, New York, Jason Phillips, David Styles, and Sean Jacobs begin a music group in high school, calling it the Bomb Squad, with Jason going as Jadakiss, David going by Styles P, and Sean going by Chic Louch. They perform at local shows and develop a local buzz before changing their name to the Warlocks. They then connect with producer Jazz O to produce a demo tape for them, which gains them Mary J. Blige as a fan. Blige shows P. Diddy the demo, who then signs them to a deal, as well as suggesting a name change. They do so, then becoming known as The Locks.
1995.
In Los Angeles, California, friends since high school, William Adams Jr. and Alan Pineda Lindo Jr. form the group Black Eyed Pods, with Jamie Gomez going by Taboo and Kim Hall. It catches the attention of Eazy-E, who signs them to Ruthless Records, though the group disbands shortly after. They reform, changing the group name to Black Eyed Peas, and replace Kim Hall with Fergie in 2002.
1996.
In Detroit, Michigan, rapper Proof invites local rappers Bizarre, Mr. Porter, Kuniva, and Bugs to collaborate and form the group The Dirty Dozen, also known as D12. Bugs of D12 is shot and killed in 1999, leaving the request that Swifty McVay join the group, to which he does, with rapper and friend of Proof, Eminem, also joining to replace Bugs. D12 adds rapper Fuzz Scooda to the group in 2012.
1997.
In New Orleans, Louisiana, rappers BG, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, Turk, and cousin of Birdman, Lil Derek, all under Cash Money Records, form the group Hot Boys. Also in New Orleans, Louisiana, rapper Birdman and producer Manny Fresh, also under Cash Money Records, form a group which they call Big Timers.
1998.
In London, England, comic artist Jamie Hewlett and Damon Albarn, a member of the band called Blur, were housemates watching MTV criticizing its content for lack of substance. They then get the idea of forming a virtual band, to which they do, with all the virtual members Murdoch Nichols, 2D, Noodle, and Russell Hobbs. They initially go as Gorilla, before finalizing on Gorillaz.
1999.
In Atlanta, Georgia, Eric Jackson and D'Angelo Holmes are introduced and begin making music together. Eric soon becomes known as Kane, and with D'Angelo becoming known as D-Rock, the two become known as the Ying Yang Twins.
2001.
In South Jamaica, a portion of Queens, New York, teenagers Curtis Jackson, Marvin Bernard, and Christopher Lloyd begin rapping together. Curtis Jackson, now going by 50 Cent, is soon discovered by Eminem, who gets him signed to Dre's Aftermath Entertainment, where he is given his own record label. The three, Marvin going by Tony Yayo, Christopher going by Lloyd Banks, then officially form a group, later adding Young Buck, The Game temporarily, and Kid Kid. With a G standing for Gorilla, they call the group G-Unit.
2006.
In Harlem, New York, Steven Rodriguez, going by ASAP Yams, collaborates with rappers ASAP Bari and ASAP Ills to create a group. They then recruit rappers ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ferg, ASAP Ant, Larry, 12E, Nast, Ty, Lotto, Lou, Jack, and ASAP P on the board to the group, all with ASAP standing for Always Strive and Prosper, calling the group ASAP Mob.
2007.
In Los Angeles, California, artists Tyler the Creator, Casey Veggies, Haji, Travis Taco Bennett, Martin Martians, Sid, Left Brain, and Jasper Dolphin formed the group known for their brutal honesty. Odd Future Wolfgang Kill 'Em All, commonly condensed to Odd Future. Chicago rapper Brandon Deshay and Atlanta producer Pyramid Vitra join Odd Future in 2008, and Earl Sweatshirt, Frank Ocean, Domo Genesis, Mike G, and Nikel Smith are all signed to Odd Future in 2010.
2008.
In Carson, California, Herbert Stevens IV, Johnny McKenzie Jr., Quincy Hanley, and Kendrick Lamar get signed to Top Dog Entertainment, and Quincy, going by Schoolboy Q, puts out the idea for the four to form a group. Herbert under the alias Absol, Johnny McKenzie under the alias J-Rock, and Kendrick Lamar going by his real name all agree and they form the group Black Hippy. In Atlanta, Georgia, Quavius Marshall, his nephew Kersnick Ball, and their friend Kiari Cephas grow up together and form a rap group they call the Polo Club. Quavius becomes Quavo, Kersnick Takeoff, and Kiari becomes Offset, and they form the group Migos. Also in Atlanta, Georgia, high school classmates that met in sophomore year, Johnny Venus and Dr. Dot, get the idea to form a rap group, which they do, calling it Earthgang.
2010.
In Whittier, California, Aquil Shaman and his brother Khalif Shaman are born and begin practicing dancing and writing music together before they settle in Tupelo, Mississippi during middle school. They meet Jemiah Middlebrooks and form the group Dem Out Estate Boys, Aquil going by Cali Boy, Khalif by Kid Trunk, and Jemiah by Lil Pants. Lil Pants soon leaves the group, being replaced by a high school friend of the brothers, Andre Harris, going by King Dre. Cali Boy then becomes Weirdo, and Kid Trunk becomes Kid the Great. Dre introduces them to his cousin, producer P. Nasty. He likes them and they move to Atlanta and begin working with him. Due to financial problems, the boys return to Tupelo and Aquil begins working at a mattress factory, Khalif at a fast food joint. Aquil rents an apartment, moving Khalif and Dre in, recording music and throwing parties on the weekends. They then run into trouble with the police for noise complaints and their landlord for not mowing the lawn. P. Nasty convinces them to retry in Atlanta, and thanks to Andre having a car, the trio agrees, returning to Atlanta, where P. Nasty introduces them to Mike Will Made It. Andre leaves the group due to familial reasons, and the duo brothers change their name. Aquil becomes Slim Jimmy, and Khalif becomes Sway Lee. They then change the group name to a backwards spelling of Mike Will Made It's production team, Eardrummers. Ray Sremmerd. In Flatbush, New York, Dimitri Sims, Eric Elliott, and Antonio Lewis first bond in grade school, watching Dragon Ball Z, arm wrestling, and experimenting with psychedelic drugs like LSD and mushrooms. Eric, already making music as the architect, forms a group with Antonio going as Zombie Juice and Dimitri as Michi Darko. They call the group Flatbush Zombies.
2013.
In Brooklyn, New York, rapper LP is making a name for himself when he is introduced to Atlanta rapper Killer Mike by a Cartoon Network executive. LP then produces Killer Mike's album Rap, and Mike appears on LP's album Cancer for Cure on the song Tougher Colder Killer. Both albums released within a week of each other, so the rappers decide to tour together. The success that touring brings gets the two to form the group Run the Jewels.
2014.
In New Orleans, Louisiana, Scott Arsenault, born in '89, saves up enough to buy a laptop where he can start DJing using equipment bought with money gained from selling drugs. He then begins getting hired to DJ at parties and is fired from his job for new hand tattoos. Another man, Aristos Petrau, begins his music interests at age 7, learning violin and drums. Leaving a group he was in, Vapo Rats, he pursues a career in hip-hop under the name Ruby da Cherry with his cousin Arsenault, who takes the name Scrim. They then form the group Suicide Boys. In San Marcos, Texas, Kevin Abstract, Amir Vaughn, Joba, Matt Champion, and Merlin Wood all meet as teenagers attending the Woodlands High School. Abstract then makes a post on the Kanye Live online forum looking for peers to start a band with. He receives over 30 replies and forms the group Alive Since Forever. They then add more members and rebrand to Brockhampton.
2016.
In Vallejo, California, Juwan Lee has access to a studio in middle school and invites friends Wayan Barrow, Jabbar Brown, and George Harris over to make music with him. Juwan, going by Young T.O., forms the rap group Real Boy Entertainment. But Wayan Barrow, going by Da Boy, also forms a group called Strictly Only Brothers. With Jabbar going by Slimmy B and George Harris going by Lil G, they merge both groups, creating SOB times RBE. In New York City, Junius Rogers, going by Zillakami, and Daniel Hernandez, going by 6ix9ine, frequently work together, with Zillakami even claiming writing credits for a few 6ix9ine songs. He has a falling out with 6ix9ine for allegedly refusing to pay back money he owed and stealing instrumentals. In response to this, Zillakami helped to circulate the information of 6ix9ine's child sexual performance charge. Zillakami meets Vicious Sosa, known as Sos Mula, on his first day out of jail, and the two begin making music together, going by the name City Morgue.
2017.
In East Bay, San Francisco, California, rappers Jody Fontaine and Baby Boy begin making music together under the name The Nameless Collective, before changing to an abbreviation for avant-garde, the AG Club.
Conclusion.
Rap groups started in 1978 when Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five formed, at least as far as N.W.A can find. Some members of groups would go on to find solo success, and some brought attention to their group by already having established a name for themselves. Some groups and group members, Gorillaz for instance, made music under other genres before the formation of their group. Some groups played a hand in the formation and success of other groups, like Eazy-E of N.W.A. hearing and signing the Black Eyed Peas, or Dr. Dre of N.W.A. pulling out the idea for Daz Dillinger and Corrupt to form the Dog Pound. And some groups' members are more than just associated musical acts, they're blood-related family, at least some, like the Wu-Tang Clan or Migos. So, what's the next big group is the only question left, I guess. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you learned something new, share it for someone else to learn too. If you have any thoughts, suggestions, or recommendations, put them in the comments. Keep up with N.W.A between the videos through Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, linked in the description below. Thanks for plugging in, and I hope you learned something new at least. More is in the works, but for now, it's time to unplug. Much love.